All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing a beer from Jack's Abbey Craft Lagers, and they're out of Framingham, Massachusetts, and this is their hometown rising. So they're calling this one a double hoppy lager that is hopped with Strata, Sabro, and Citra hops. It comes in at 8% alcohol by volume, 30 IBUs at the time of review. I don't know exactly how old this can is because it does not have a can-on date, but this just showed up within the last like 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm gonna say this is no older than 3 months old and probably more around like 6 weeks old. So we should be fine. Anyway, Jack's Abbey. I've reviewed quite a few beers from them on the channel, but it's been quite a while since I have done so. I've never reviewed anything in their Rising series. They have their Mass Rising, their Kiwi Rising, and their Boston Rising. I've had Mass and Kiwi Rising. I've never had their Boston Rising. A couple good friends of mine and fellow beer tubers, Dan and Mike over at FLX Beer Reviews, recently reviewed that one, and they weren't digging on the Boston Rising, but they both like Jack's Abbey's beers, and they just weren't digging on that one. So if I ever see that one, I'm going to give it a go because I do like the Rising series. This one on the side here, it says, cut through the haze with this clearly a double hoppy lager. Hometown Rising is brewed with an increasing dosage of American hops throughout the process to share a unique expression of the hop blend. Here's a lager to make your hometown proud. So anyway, let's crack this one open and get it into a glass and look at the beautiful clearness of a lager, I guess. So I like Kiwi Rising the best between that and Mass Rising. I've always liked it. I haven't had it in a long time. Probably should review it next time I see it. But all right, so it's a lager, but it has some haze to it. You can see, the shadow through the side, but that's a hazy lager. It has this bright, vibrant orange color, which will probably be dulled on camera. Half finger of this tightly compact, white bubbled looking head. Looks fine. Yeah, looks cool. Now, the one thing I will say is it's cool to see Jack's Abbey dive in with Strata and Sabro being two of the newer hops over the last couple of years that places have been brewing with. So it's good nose. Okay. So maybe this is closer to 3 months old, because I will say this. A lot of times when I get this distinct like orange marmalade malty kind of character in a beer, especially a hop forward beer of any sort, an IPA, whatever, double hoppy lager, it usually means it's an older beer. I am getting a huge orange marmalade vibe to this one. It's sweet, orange, there's like honey, things of that nature, and that's what I'm getting here. So I feel like this has a little bit of age on it. There's a touch of like a slight coconut hit from the Sabro, but I am also getting berry. I think Strata is like strawberry. I wouldn't say strawberry. I'd say more like a nondescript red berry. But that orange marmalade character is the biggest thing going on here in terms of character in the nose. It doesn't smell bad. I love orange marmalade. I've had it so many times in older IPAs that once I smell it, I kind of know that there's probably a good 3+ months of age on this one. It says it's still available on their website. I did check their website. I mean, they have most of the information here, same thing on the website, but they said it's like available now. So I can't picture this being older than 3 months old. I don't know. It doesn't smell bad. It just smells old. Let's get into it. Cheers, everyone. So the taste is better than the nose. There's still that orange marmalade kind of character, but it's nice. It's not great. It's nice. But I think this one's like medium, a bit over medium, 8%, sure. The mouthfeel, it's crisp, it's effervescent, it's on the palate, it's very spritzy, but not overly carbonated, just appropriately carbonated for, I mean, they say double hoppy lager. This is basically a double IPL. That's stylistically anyway. Right at the forefront, I'm hit with that malt, and it's like a sweet, like honey drizzled kind of bready type of sensation to the malt. And then I'm hit with a zesty, sweeter orange, which gives me that orange marmalade vibe, but not as big on the nose because it transitions midway through the palate to the zesty lime, zesty lemon kind of character. And then there's an ever so slight hint of like a nondescript red berry like I was getting the nose. No coconut. Sabro isn't introducing coconut in the taste, in the nose a little bit, but not much on the palate. On the back of the palate, there's this really nice dry, like semi to full-on dry earthiness. There's a little bit of like an herbaceous kind of kick, almost tea-like, which is another character that a lot of times I'll get in older IPAs. There's one beer that I get that tea-like character with when it gets older is 3 Floyd Zombie Dust. It gives me like a distinct like black tea kind of note. getting very slight hints of this. So with the orange marmalade at the beginning, and then that slight tea finish, but more like just a generic kind of earthy dryness, I think this is a bit older. I don't know how old. I wish there was a date on the can. I mean, I literally looked everywhere for it. I don't see anything. They have a little code on here that, you know, I don't think you can scan. Well, maybe let's see the code. So no, there's nothing really sticking out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to say this is a bit older, unfortunately. I'm going to say probably 3 months. At the beginning, I said probably no older, right around 6 weeks now. This is probably 3+ months. I don't know, though. I just know that if this is relatively fresh at like 6 weeks, or if it's 3 months old, it's definitely drinking more like an older IPA that's, you know, it's lost its oomph. It's faded a bit. It's not bad. It's just, I was hoping for a lot more with Strata, Sabro, and Citra. It's not too sweet. It has a good balance. I think, if anything, it leans more dry. You can't taste the 8%, which is nice. So there's pluses here, but there's also minuses. The pluses are hides the alcohol well, has a good body and mouthfeel for what you're going for, and it doesn't feel as aged on the palate as the nose did. The negatives are getting that orange marmalade, almost tea-like finish as well, which indicates it's a little bit older. There's not a ton of complexity here, and it does finish a bit more dry than I like. So I'm going to have to give it appropriate and honest rating like I always do. And I'm going to give Hometown Rising from Jack's Abbey. I am going to give that a solid 3.5 out of 5. It's the best I can do. I think if this was fresher, this would probably be a good 4 out of 5. I'd imagine the Strata and Sabro probably would have popped a little bit more. Maybe we're talking about you know, more red berries and coconut and more like stone fruits and stuff. But as is, it's not terrible. I'll have no problems drinking the rest of that. But based on what I'm drinking, I'd never buy it again. So Kiwi Rising, Mash Rising, superior to this one. But again, I don't think this is fresh. Price and availability, I think I paid $3 for that can. I think they're $12 a 4-pack. Fine price for something that's 8% and has those 3 hops in it. A lager, yeah, $3 a can's fine. And availability wherever you see Jack's Abbey. Here's where I will ask you guys to let me know if you have seen this one. Have you had this one? If you did, when's the first time you saw it? Was it a month ago? Was it 2 months ago? Was it back in the summer? Because I've went shopping now for beer twice. And when I went shopping for beer the first time, which was sometime in I think it was early October, maybe early mid-October, I did not see this on the shelves. Then I went again in late October, early November, and I totally saw it at like 3 different places. So it showed up at some point late October, early November, and it doesn't seem like it's all that fresh. I could be wrong. My palate's terrible in general, but I would love somebody to tell me if you've seen this one, if you've had this one, what'd you think about it? Did you have it fresh? Was it aged? You getting similar characters? I'd like to know. So appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Till the next one, cheers.